This is episode 23 of We Could Be Wrong, the ex-hamster of podcasts. I'm Eli. Joining me today is Bret.
I'd prefer to be the X-video podcast. We clearly know where quality comes from. What are your thoughts, Christina?
Which one are you, ex-hamster or ex-video?
Are you a YouPorn, Christina?
Huh?
Pornhub?
Are you YouPorn or Pornhub? Are you kink.com, Christina?
No.
Are you Tumblr.com with all the tags?
Are you an amalgamation of the porno tags on Tumblr, Christina?
No.
Are you just like the 18
Although
plus videos on YouTube that aren't really porn, but you can just get it off anyway?
There's a new porn blog that followed me on Tumblr.
Yay!
Cool. Yeah, welcome to my Twitter feed every 10 minutes.
Wait. The name's pretty interesting, though.
Ooh.
Okay.
Can we guess it? Let's guess the names. Bret, you go first.
Bangs for bucks.
Nope.
Come for dumpsters.
Nope.
Tears for queer gendered.
Wow, Bret.
Queers for beers.
I'm trying to find it.
You don't even know.
Tit for tat. Tits for tat. There we go.
No.
Ass for pass.
It's nutbags of fun.
Oh my god. The worst part was we were getting close. Like, you give us another 20 minutes and we would have got that.
Nut bags of fun.
Nut bags for fun.
Okay, we were playing. Okay.
How does one determine that their nut bags are filled with fun? Like, there's just like,
I don't know.
Yeah, my nut
There's
bag,
only one way to find out.
I'm not doing too good right now. My nut bags are not filled with as much fun as they could possibly be filled with. So, Christina, how are we sure that this is a porno blog and not just like a really hipster agricultural nut farming blog?
I mean, I can click on it.
You
But
gotta
the
click
icon,
on it. It's Christina. You have to
is
click
of
on
this
it.
half-naked guy.
Yeah, click it.
Yeah, maybe he's talking about what type of fucking like almonds are the best for this season.
Half naked, half holding almonds around his body. Because you said half naked. You never know if it's full naked.
I don't know. He just blogs a bunch of like dude pictures.
Do you have something against dudes?
That's the weirdest. That's the weirdest. That's the most PG way of saying gay porn. Dude,
I don't know
pictures.
why, but like the thing that once broke me on Tumblr, and Christina was there for this.
It's just a bunch of half-naked guys. This is weird.
So basically, a Saturday night at your room, right?
Oh, you were getting raunchy today.
The thing that broke me on Tumblr once was I just didn't get this one joke. Was this guy posts a thing making fun of Barefoot Contessa, the cooking show.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, if you can't get your almonds blessed by the fucking, like, the seers under the first moonlight of the Advent, then make sure you just get then the store brand works just as well. And I was like, okay. And then the next line, like the Tumblr break for the next comment was, big, hot, wet sausage, best in town. And I was just like,
I sent you this.
Yeah, you sent me this, and you thought this was hilarious, but I just couldn't get it for the longest time, because I thought it was part of the original joke.
That's so weird.
So I'm like, why is there this link to a bunch of dicks? Like, what are we doing here? Is this like a
barefoot sausage?
I find it funny that joke and the whole like every R&B music video of the early 2000s, was it? Video?
Everything is slow
just
motion.
Just went over his head. Just like...
Everything's in slow motion. There's always a girl looking at him, and it's always the point.
I just love the last part where he does the look, and then the final look where he turns away and shakes his head. I'm like, oh my god. Every single music video. Good
radio is the type of radio where we talk about jokes that our listeners can't actually view right now.
Well, we'll make our own jokes out of it. Go to your Tumblrs and then look up jokes.
So, new game, new segment, Bret's favorite new game of all time.
Which is basically everybody's favorite game, so...
My new favorite game, it is not Pokemon Go, Christina.
It's really? Pokemon Stop.
You know how many fucking dumbasses I'm like, oh, if you're driving a car and you're playing Pokemon Go, maybe you should Pokemon stop. And it's like, there's going to be a campaign for that soon. Because it's like, I've never really wanted to text while I've been on the road, but there have been parts where I've been like, maybe if I just pull this out, I could get a bunch of Pokemon while I'm driving.
Bret.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ, even I'm not that pathetic.
Soon, Eli. Soon you will be.
Soon.
Soon you will be. My new favorite game is people watching.
7 minutes in heaven.
People watching and deciding if they're playing Pokemon Go right now.
We did that a lot yesterday.
Yeah, because like driving down the road and there's a guy, and here is the really big thing that's going to help you figure that out. Do they have a fucking phone right in front of their fucking face, like glued there? Boom, you've just fucking seen someone who's playing Pokemon Go.
What if they're just reading a book? Really, really violent. Oh.
Yeah, no, I've actually got I've a few people, like, I was eating dinner with some family, and they're like, Brett, why are people over in that next booth looking at you playing on your phone? And I had to explain to my parents, I'm like, because I think it's because I'm playing Pokemon, and these people are weird.
You have to explain it to your parents?
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's okay, Mom, you know that Pokemon game that I got when I was a kid? Well, I have it on my phone now.
You know, I just realized something, Brett. What did those kids have to say to their parents to get out of the house at, what? Did you go to that place at like 9 o'clock?
No,
9:30?
it was, okay, first off, it was a bunch of adults.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking,
What? I was just...
You!
Stereotype maker, you.
Oh my
But
god, you're
whatever.
terrible at names, Brett.
No, I'm not as good as Nutbags of Fun.
Nutbags of fun.
I'm not on his level yet.
This
Soon.
is episode 23 of We Could Be Wrong, the Nutbags of Fun of podcasts.
Nutbags of Fun, the podcast. Oh my god, can we like rename our podcast to Nutbags of Funcast? Like,
We were... Okay.
I think I broke Eli. There we go.
I'm trying to think, like, do we have to change the topics then?
Yeah, we have to at least
The
once
Nutbag
per
of the week
episode,
goes to me.
We have to talk about current stocks within the almond market.
It's now economic
We
podcast.
have to talk about how like the sale of pistachios have gone down recently.
I thought we were going to
It's
talk about
actually-
testicles.
and then we just end the last 20 minutes just talking
Well,
about
we
nuts.
could talk about testicles and just really make Brett feel left out.
All right, let's talk about testicles.
Oh,
What are your
wow,
favorite
nice.
types of testicles, Christina?
Nice, Christina. Are you trying to say you have nuts?
No, I'm
You said
saying that
we'll
we're
talk-
both bisexual, and you're the only straight one here.
You're the weirdo. Laugh at him.
I can't make any jokes, or else in like 2 days, Eli's gonna text me. He's gonna be like, I think we need to take out some of the jokes you made. Like every time, or I'll text Eli and be like, yeah, I went too far. So it's like Christina's like fucking prodding the lion. Speaking about stuff going too far, Eli, your topic.
Oh, yeah, okay. I want to talk about
Perfect
testicles
segue.
Perfect segue.
Perfect segue. So, Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So, there was some sort of, I don't want to say controversy, because it's really tepid. It's way too tepid to be a controversy. Why? It feels like everything nowadays is considered a controversy, and if everything's a controversy, nothing is. So pretty much people got angry.
Just get to the goddamn vagina bones already.
I was just about to, and you rudely interrupted me. So pretty much, Tokyo Mirage Sessions got localized by Atlas for North America, and a lot of people got upset about this. And I was wanting to hear your guys' opinions about this whole idea of censorship or whatever. I just hate when people talk about, like, oh, this is censorship. When it's not. There's no government intervention on this. It's just localization to make it a lot more fitting
I mean, the localization could be shitty. That's happened a lot before.
It just, there are certain things that they changed,
what
like...
you told me about that card game.
Oh, yeah. Force of Will, and this also used to happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, where the translators just fuck up shit. Like, outright, they'll fuck up the rules on cards. Like, I don't play Force of Will, but someone who I know who does play was telling me that They fucked up the rules text on a card that was supposed to say, like, when this card comes into play, pay this amount of life or whatever, and then do this. But all the card says is, when this card comes into play, do this. And so, like, they had to go online and be like, yo, if you're actually at a tournament, you have to pay that life. Yeah,
So Force of Will,
mana.
that was the card game with the butt, right?
Yeah, that was the card game with the butt.
All right.
That they censored.
They censored. That's like one thing that when people complain about, these potty parts, the way the sexualized designs were toned down, that's censorship. And I'm like, you guys, we're living at a point where you can get porn everywhere. So
I mean,
But it's
So-
not the
so what
porn
you're
that
talking
they
about-
want.
what you're talking about is the Yuri, the girl, the spider lady from
I know that's
Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's a little different. I was going to transition to that, but it was the sort of idea like,
Well, no. I know you got a comment that you were kind of scratching your head about when someone's like, "Oh, this is our sexually repressed culture," blah blah blah, and it's like. That's a little bit of a misnomer because it's not like the Japanese are a much more sexually liberated culture.
They're probably like.
there are differences
I don't want to
within.
say way worse.
I mean, you
than
can.
us,
I mean,
but-
I when I traveled Europe, there was clearly like not as big of a worry about it.
Oh yeah, no.
there was boobies
They
everywhere.
have naked statues everywhere.
Fucking 16-year-old Bret was losing his goddamn mind. No, not naked statues. Like they had this
Naked
like, poster.
people.
They had this poster for a play in the old district of Rome that was going on.
Oh yeah, I remember
And-
in Florence seeing this apron that was basically of like it was an apron of the statue of David with like the chest, but then it also had like full on uncensored balls, and they sold
Okay,
this
thank you.
everywhere.
Thank you.
Nut bags of fun.
I was in the old section of Rome, and there was just a poster for a play that was going on, and just the poster was just this woman standing there, just flippity flops right out, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. It's like I remember like we were immature, we were like 16 when this was going on, so like my roommate was like, holy shit, he was like pulling out his camera and like taking
And his
pictures
dick.
of it.
Oh my
Yeah, just starts jerking off in the bus.
Nice.
You can do that in Europe.
Yeah, it's European. It's accepted over there.
Yeah, you do with a cigarette and it's European.
I mean, there is to say that like some cultures are a little bit less repressed. Adam
a little more
Conover,
liberal.
I guess.
Yeah.
Adam Conover on his show, Adam Ruins Everything, when he was talking about sex, he actually brought up like a lot of issues that we have with sex in America are because of shame, and I think some people might hear that and go like, yeah, I don't mind masturbating, but it's like even simple things like the show explains it very well, where it's like sexually transmitted diseases are very taboo and everything because we shame sex, and virginity is very big because we shame sex, and everything really goes back to shaming sex. So I don't know, when someone makes their picket fight to fight for the right to just see some side boob and say like, oh, we're so repressed we can't even see side boob, it's like I think we have bigger issues than just side boob.
But
And-
another
and
thing
I mean-
that kind of gets to me is like this is a rated T game. So
I mean-
what's appropriate for teenagers here may not be the same in Japan, or what's appropriate in Japan is not the same over here.
I mean, they fucking, like, remember with Dead or Alive, they were told that they were going to get an M rate. No, they were going to be barred in Germany if they wouldn't move that Ninja Kasumi, is that her name?
Yes.
If they wouldn't make her 18, because she was, like, 15. And they're like, she has to be 18. And Konami or Bandai, whoever makes that, was like,
Tecmo.
when they were told that, they're like, no, she has to be 15. And it's like, really, she has to be 15?
Yeah, no.
She has to be 15.
Why?
Like,
Why does she have to be?
I don't know.
15?
I don't know. Like, and I'll be open. Like, I fucking find it weird, our fascination with youth towards sex. Like, I don't mind. I think, like, there is clearly a problem with how prudish we can be sometimes and stuff like that. But I think an even bigger issue isn't just that we're being prudish, it's that we're sexualizing youth to a more and more disgusting degree. Like, You know, it's like,
Like, oh, 16-year-olds.
oh well, like, you know, and like we joked about like, oh, X porn, X hamster. But you go on X hamster, and it's like you're just looking at porno, and then it's like teen gets it fucking hard, and it's like, I don't really care if she's a teenager. I don't really want it to be a teenager, to be honest.
It's like, you know,
Like-
you know what's always drew me off? It's like when they have the website called, like, legal blondes. I'm like, well, I
Barely legal bitches.
It's like, or whoever put down, like, the legality is totally fine. It's like, I'm hoping that it's legal. You don't have to keep saying that. It's kind of like eating a sandwich is like not poisonous sandwich.
It's kind of like, you know, like when you're watching a porno and they start off by going, all performers in this are at least 18. And you're like,
I hope so.
Thank you, I guess. I feel like that isn't something we should be checking at the gate. I mean, like, we should know this going into it. Like,
Even in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, they changed certain ages from 17 to 18. And there's this one article, I'm not saying the name, one article actually complained about how that's a problem, why they have to change the age from 17 to 18 when they come to
Really?
America. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people also getting mad about how, I forget what it's called, it's a Japanese term, it's like sister syndrome or something like that, where in Japan it's not as frowned upon, incest isn't as frowned upon. I could be so armchair psychologist, or,
Pseudoscience.
no, what do you call that, someone who studies cultures?
Anthropology.
I could
A
be
dork.
totally, and I could be totally armchair anthropology, but like, you know, like incest is a little less big of a deal, whereas in the West, you know, it's more of a bigger issue with us.
Because we know what happens when incest runs amok.
Well, I'm sure they know what happens, Christina. I'm sure this isn't like something like, whoa.
Well, I mean, like, historically wise.
They have history in Japan.
Yeah, I know, Christina. They're not like, whoa, things happened more than 100 years ago.
There was the
Whoa.
anime in the past.
But how did they get the mech fights to work? Like,
Have you played their video games? They retell the history with mechs all over the place. No.
the only history they know, Christina, is Final Fantasy 1 and forward.
You mean Final Fantasy 7 and forward.
Why not 1? Why?
Because everybody doesn't think one's...
Everybody
or,
doesn't.
We're diverging.
Everybody is waiting for a good time, Christina.
Good
Yeah.
time, good time.
Getting back to what we were talking about, like, I don't know, I think that, like, nowadays, there's just this, like, you can say what you want about prudishism, but it's like, I don't know, I don't think we should be like, yo, check out this fucking 15-year-old. And it's like, there's this weird obsession with it on porno sites sometimes, where they're just like, she's oh, that's what I wanted to tell you about. Have you ever been watching a porno, Eli?
Yes,
And
all
it's
the
like-
time. Go on.
And basically every 20 minutes, Brett.
I'm doing it right now. No.
Oh, we're not supposed to be doing it right now?
It's called multitasking.
It's called nutcasting. So, like, have you ever watched a porno and it's like some guy goes over to his friend's house and he starts like fucking his friend's mom, and he's like, oh, I can't believe I'm fucking my friend's mom who had my friend. And then like the guy is like old as shit, balding, like looks like fucking garbage, and then the mother, who's supposed to be like 20 years his elder, and I'm not even talking about just like when it's like the son fucks the mom, because subconsciously I'm like, oh, this is fucked, but the woman's kind of attractive, so I gotta like be like, okay, they're actors, this is just some house that they
Nice.
rented out in California.
Oh, no, that,
Wow, Brett.
Hey, yeah,
It's all pretend, it's all
I just
pretend.
said,
if
yeah,
I
it's all
mute it, it's
pretend.
literally nothing.
I don't go to Transformers and be like, wow, that Shia LaBeouf guy puts himself in some real danger with those robots.
You don't immerse yourself?
I don't immerse myself. But like the woman is clearly like fucking 20 years younger than the guy. And the guy's like, oh my god, I love MILFs. And it's like, dude, you're like fucking 30 years older than her. Like, that's not a MILF. That's just a woman your own goddamn, like...
Maybe she adopted someone older than him.
Yeah, no, that's like... I love in porno world where, like, you adopt someone who's 20 years your senior.
Even though they're legally old enough to live on their
Welcome
own.
to the porno world.
I imagine in porno world, when you hit the age of 25, a man in a black suit comes to comes to your door, and like you open, and you're like, "What's up?" And he's like, "I need to see your teen card." And they hold up their teen card, and he just crosses out the word teen, and he writes in MILF, and he's like, "You're not a fucking teenager now, you old fuck," and just walks away. And that's how fucking porno world works.
That's the most depressing thing I ever heard about porno world.
Well, in porno world, it's like, like
In
how
porno
everyone,
world,
like,
nobody ever cries.
everyone makes a joke about, like, oh, if you're a woman in your 30s in Hollywood, you're playing a witch at some point. It's like, if you're a woman in porno over the age of 25, congratulations, you're now a MILF for some reason. Like, so getting back towards what you were talking about with censorship, it's like, I don't think that it's... I think that it's just... I mean, there is inherent cultural differences. Again, there was that whole sister syndrome thing where incest isn't as frowned upon. Culturally, jokes don't work correctly across borders a lot of the time. A big one that I know firsthand is colloquialisms don't work. I have a foreign friend from the UK. I don't know if Christina was there when this happened, but the guy doesn't know colloquialisms that we take for granted. Eli, if I was to tell you... that movie was all that in a bag of chips, what would you think? That I was.
Oh, hi, Chris Boris. How are you?
Oh, yes, that's where he got it from. But what does that mean?
It means, like, it's really good.
Yes.
And a bag of chips.
This guy thought it was Chris Bors's catchphrase that he made up. And I was like, no, he didn't make that up. That's like a fucking old-ass colloquialism from, like, the 90s that, like, no one's used since... That's why, like, everyone joked about it with Chris Bors, because it's like, dude, that colloquialism is dead. Like, that phrase is gone.
A bag of potato chips.
But to him, that phrase is a catchphrase that was created by Chris Bors because he had never heard it anywhere else. Never in his life had he heard it anywhere else. And a bunch of, like, again, I think colloquialisms are the biggest thing that don't transfer. Right. Jokes are probably up there.
Puns.
Like, puns probably, you're right, Christina. Again, rhyming doesn't work out at all. Rhyming doesn't work. Fucking look at, like, people always joke, like, why is the English translations of this J-pop song sound so weird? Because the words in Japanese actually rhyme. But the words in English don't rhyme. They're very much off. I don't get when my friends ask me that question because it's like, it's so fucking obvious. It's just they rhyme in another language.
Well, you don't. Yeah, when you walk away, you don't hear me say, "Please, oh baby, don't go."
Yeah, simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight, Eli.
Yeah, it's hard to let it go. Hold me, yada yada yada.
Hold on, I need to fucking throw up right now.
Are you excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, Bret?
No, I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 2.8. That's a fucking thing.
Are they fucking with them now at this point? It's like...
Well, I know they came out with another cell phone game after they said they'd never come out with another game.
There is a brand new version that came out for the PS4 called Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Chapter Prologue. Final Chapter Prologue.
Yeah, that's the one with the second game.
What's a chapter prologue?
I think it comes with all, like, the expansion games.
Like, that's a weird thing. Not like just a chapter, but a chapter prologue?
I thought it comes with 2 in Birth by Sleep.
A prologue's not a chapter, it's just a beginning.
Maybe Dream Drop Distance, although who gives a shit about Dream Drop Distance?
Who thinks of these names?
Square Enix.
So, here's the big thing. Like, that guy who was saying that, and a lot of these websites that are talking about how, like, oh, well, technically, what's her name? Yuri? The purple girl?
Jury?
Is it Azuri? Jury? The thing is, that outfit isn't made to represent the sexual liberties of the Japanese, and it isn't made because that's how they feel, and it isn't made because in their culture that's what they see as acceptable. It's made because the Japanese games market, and to an extent some of the Western market, these developers want to exploit, and it's so simple. Back in the 80s, we had the term exploitation films that would take concepts that were easy to sell to certain demographics. You got stuff like Dolomite. Is Dolomite real, or is that just a parody franchise?
Dolomite is a real movie.
Okay, you got stuff like Dolomite that was clearly blaxploitation. It was this black power character who was just these studios wanted to get black people in the seats of the theater. So they're like, okay, this really cool black dude in an action movie. And it exploits that's what black people wanted to see. Exploitation films about martial arts, you got that. You had the Death Wish, gore porn kind of exploitation films. We don't really use those terminology anymore, but it's really sad that it's actually seeping in. It went from being movies as much, where now movies are just boring, loud, disgusting visual effects fests, to now the exploitation aspect has gone to video games, and we just accept it because we like the titty.
Yeah, but that's one thing that always that threw me off and that got me upset the most about it. Now that you brought it up, it's just that when people defend it as if it's like, oh, this is art.
It's high art.
It's high art. One guy...
It's like if someone, again, was defending Dolomite as high art. And it's like, Dolomite's not high art. It was made to fucking get you in a theater.
Mm-hmm. There was this one video of some guy, he was defending Dead or Alive Extreme 3, and he... honest to God, he compared it to a work by Pablo Picasso.
Really?
Yes.
Did he compare it to the one where he drew like a bunch of
prostitutes?
Yes.
That's it.
Remember, Enter the Dragon was basically the Citizen Kane of Kung Fu movies.
No. Citizen Cage, Bret.
But yeah, no, like that's the same kind of thing. Well, no. That's like saying Enter the Dragon is like a Pablo Picasso painting, because and for those of you who don't know, Enter the Dragon was the Bruce Lee movie that was made after he died, and like some producer, I don't know if it was in China or if it was in America, realized they had footage of him. And they were like, fuck, we can cut this into a movie. And it's awful. I think there's like a whole thing with him being cloned. So that's how they fill out the rest of the footage and get the final part, is they just have some guy who looks like him at the end. They're like, oh, it's his clone because the real one died. And then like 7 years later, they make a sequel using a more footage that they found.
Wow.
That's what gets me upset the most about like this whole situation when people think that they're defending art, when they're just defending something that's going for the easiest targets. You're defending fan service. You're defending things that are going to
exploitation.
Exploitation.
I think we should say it like that, because a lot of people don't get it.
You're defending exploitation. You're defending
media.
a medium that's meant to market to the lowest common denominator, to something that is just easily to its base form. Look at those titties, and ass.
It's to be honest, it's the issue I have with anime, and it's probably the reason why I don't like a lot of anime, like most.
Yeah, I think
is that
I don't think I can like watch.
I can't stomach most anime. It's so exploitative, and that's the issue, and that's the key word there, because it's like it's all
the cliche about female protagonist being like docile and like
no, but then she's cool for like 5 minutes, but then like the main character saves her, and then she like looks at him all teary-eyed, blah blah, and it's just like, it's so exploitative. The main characters always suck because we need the males in the audience to look at them and be like, okay,
he gets all the titties.
Yeah, like and we need the girls to kind of be lame because we need the girls to be
overshadow the guy.
They can't overshadow the guy, but they also kind of have to like be tropey so that every guy can be like, oh, I want the mean one. Oh, I want the one that's really nice and nurturing. Oh, and it's like,
I want the one that looks like she doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, they're not really people at that point. They're just things that the audience can be like, I want that one. And I mean, that's the same thing with fighting games. Sure, there are people who like get really good at them. And trust me, like people who are good at Street Fighter, like that's a skill. That's like fucking incredible when you watch them. But then, you know, there's the low audience that is just like, I like Cammy. I have a poster of her. And it's just like, okay, you're kind of being exploited. And it's fine. Everyone can enjoy exploitative media. The issue is now we're getting to this point where we have a new age group of people who don't like that they're being told that they like exploitative stuff, and they can't just accept this thing I like is exploitative. So they rebel against the idea. It's not exploitative, it's art.
I remember I was hanging with some friends, and he was playing Seren Kagura on the PlayStation.
Is that the ninja boob game thing?
Yes. And so
is this the one where you touch the ninjas, or like
Yeah. So
I don't know what this weird I just know that there's like Japanese games where you touch them.
yeah. So this guy, I swear to God, he
I love
says
how you sound dead on the inside. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one I always like. Tumble.
I know you tumble about it, but I don't know what it is.
So this guy, I swear to God, he says like, "Oh, it's a fun game if you just ignore the fan service." And I'm thinking, the fan service is the game. It's meant solely to see for anime TNA. Why don't you just admit I like anime TNA and that's why I got this game, and that's totally fine. It's totally fine.
I know.
People feel like so self-centered. It's not self-centered. It's like so self-conscious about themselves. Like it's just like, I don't want people to think I'm a pervert. I just like this. If I frame it in a way to make it look like, oh no, this is art. Why are you censoring this art? That I look like the better person. I look like I'm very in tune and very well versed.
Sophisticated and worldly, when it's like, dude, you just like something exploitative, and it's fine. And
it's fine.
And I want to preface this with, it sounds like we're saying like, oh, but we don't. But it's like, I totally feel like if I just sat down, I could list off like hundreds of things that are like totally exploitative media.
How many are porn?
Well, I mean that is the ultimate. That is the ultimate version of exploitative media.
Everybody likes porn.
No, Christina's
it's
like
one of the biggest.
I've never watched porn.
Really?
Yeah, she's weird. She's a fucking weirdo.
You're a weirdo. Like, I think the closest thing to porn I've seen are like the animated GIFs that you see on Tumblr occasionally.
Oh, of like a girl getting fucked, and it's all like black and white, and it's like supposed to look beautiful. I know the one that I always see is like that girl who's getting spanked, but it's black and white, so it's supposed to be like, oh, it's artsy.
Bret, why
but it's like,
are you looking at people who get spanked?
Why aren't you? There you go.
Do you have a spanking fetish?
It's on Tumblr. Jesus.
Do you want to be spanked, Bret?
Oh my God. I've told you this story 1,000 times, but fine, I'll go fucking all in. I was at my photography class in college. The girl next to me was on her Tumblr, and boom, just girl getting spanked black and white. And I was like, wait a second, I know that fucking porno. I've seen that fucking
So
porno.
by that girl who on the computer, was that girl you, and was that photography class your room?
Nope. But like,
that doesn't sound very convincing, Bret.
but like, I feel like the issue nowadays is like that girl who's just like, oh well, I need to take this off my dash while I'm in public, and I need to not be like this, I guess. Nowadays we get like a fucking issue where people are like, no, I'm like, this is art. This is beautiful. Yeah. This is the human experience. And
you were talking about like people who got in trouble at like Masters of Gathering matches because they had like pretty much pornography on their placemats.
No, I mean, it's pretty common. It's not super common, but like it happens where I go to tournaments now. Like I've been going to tournaments for the past few months. And you'll always get like one guy who's so proud of the fact that he has porno sleeves, and it's like you sleeve your. Everyone who plays Magic pretty seriously sleeves their cards so that they don't get damaged when you shuffle them. And
you double sleeve them.
I double sleeve them using Japanese import sleeves.
Crafted from the finest plastic.
You double wrap it before you double tap it.
Ah. Okay, first off, I was at this tournament, and this dude is sitting there with his fucking kid. And this one guy was like, hey, dude, do you have this one? Ha ha. And he hands him this sleeve, and it's like a fucking half-naked woman. And, like, you can totally see, like, her asshole because she's bending over and stuff. She's like, yeah, I totally have these on one of my decks. And, like, first off, dude, your kid's here. He's, like, 9. Second off, he was the one who got mad and like stormed out of the area when he lost a game.
That's a nice thing to teach your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the people who I see storm out the most are the ones with kids. But the other guy who stormed out when he lost because of an unfair deck, like when he stormed out and left, he was just like, I'm done for the night. I don't want to play this anymore. Which is like, that's fine. Your kid's probably not going to be like. Your kid's not going to pick up that you're kind of like upset by that. But this guy was like, how much is the fucking tournament? How much money do you get for winning the tournament? And then the judge was like, $10 is the pool prize. And he's like, okay, here's $10. Every week I will give you $10 and you don't fucking show up. And I was just like, oh, okay. Maybe you want to fucking dial it back a bit, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But so getting back on track, porno
But-
sleeves.
I know you were talking. Go on with the artist sleeves. I'm sorry.
Well, just you were asking, about porno sleeves. Yeah, they happen, and I don't get why they happen. Like, you get racist sleeves. I've seen a few
Racist sleeves.
like just stuff that have like an
Pictures of the
Asian
KKK on them.
No, like they'll have like. I think the most was there was like one that had an Asian dude on it, and it was just like, remember your math or something like that, and I was like, oh, okay,
That's
okay,
tasteful.
classy. But it's just like I don't let it bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But some people, I think the big one is that Wizards has a policy against those sleeves, and when you're at a tournament, 9 out of 10 times people aren't gonna call you on it. But sometimes people do. And there was a big issue in the Magic the Gathering community because some judges, who were female, talked about how, they respond when they find those. And they're like, yo, it's a policy. You can't be like this. It kind of sucks that, like, the community lost their shit over that. And to be fair, I think the community was actually really cool about it. If you, reading through the Reddit, it wasn't a giant garbage fire. It was just one guy who was kind of popular in the Magic community was kind of a dick about it and kept talking about art and saying like what we've been talking about. He kept talking about how it's artistic and how you shouldn't stifle art, even though he's talking about someone's butthole. And I mean,
but the butthole is very artful.
Is the butthole the most artistic part?
The
of the human
butthole
body?
represents the American dream.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
butthole is where the imagination springs from.
And
Bret.
to get to the imagination, you need to go in elbow deep.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm proud of myself and ashamed of myself at the same time.
Would it surprise you that we went to the National Art Gallery
Oh, you saw
in
someone go
Washington,
elbow
D.C.
deep somewhere?
and no, it's just we just saw this sculpture of
A butthole?
this marble woman, and
Marble?
yes, it was made out of marble.
Oh, I thought you said Marvel Woman. I'm
Oh,
like, is
no.
that a superhero?
Miss Marvel?
And my sister just kept taking pictures of her butt because she thought the butt was so perfectly sculpted in marble.
Okay, good story.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think a while ago, Trevor Noah said something to a larger scale.
You actually watched Trevor Noah?
Yeah, I like Trevor Noah. Dude. Okay, so...
Not
so
really feeling him. I feel like Oliver and Samantha Bee are just fucking wrecking him right now.
I feel like that's the problem. It's like the problem's not so much that Trevor, it's just like he's in a area where like now Oliver has his own show and Bee has her own show.
Yeah.
That's
a good
But
point.
Trevor's is still a fantastic guy. Trevor, he talks about like one thing that he notices in America, and I don't know if it's exclusive to
Sorry, I'm
America.
gonna have to bring that up again, but like, I've never heard a better like term for it. It's not that Noah sucks. It's that he is going up against Bee and Oliver, and they are fucking wrecking shit right now with how good they're being. And it's just like, fuck, why did he get it over Oliver?
No.
Why
To
did
be
he get the
fair-
spot
to
over
be
Jessica
fair,
Jones?
I feel like Oliver has a lot more at his disposal as far as budget goes.
Yeah, but like I feel like Jessica Jones really should have been the one to take over for him.
Anyway, so I think one thing Trevor
Stewart.
says that...
Oh, you mean Jessica Williams?
Is it? I thought it was Jessica Jones.
No.
that's a Marvel
That's a
thing.
comic book character.
So Trevor Noah once said that on his way on America, he noticed that there's this sort of idea
Christina, do
that...
you ever just like wonder about our lives sometimes and just where we're going?
And I sympathize with Max Scoville now. Like, guys, stop it! No, stop! So, Trevor Noah notices that one thing about America is that this is sort of the dichotomy going around. You're either one side or another side. You're either a cat person or a dog person. You either love Fox News or you love MSNBC. And the one thing that kind of to bring it over here is that I see a bunch of dichotomy, a bunch of people who want to separate things into just two groups. Either, like, hey, if I say that I like this, people will think I'm a nasty pervert. Or if...
Nasty man.
It's like, it's totally okay to, like, you know, exploitative things associated like pornography. But at the same time, you know, there's doing that, and then there's having class. There's, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't want to put a pornographic match at a tournament. Maybe you shouldn't, like, you know, be fighting, like, tooth and nail over something that, you know, in the long scheme thing, maybe isn't that... It's rather milquetoast.
I don't know. I think it's the issue is that there's a huge lack of sympathy, I feel like, nowadays. Mm-hmm. Where it's a simple thing of, like, understand people's comfort levels. If someone is clearly not comfortable with your sleeves of fucking Chandra bending over and showing off what's fucking like...
Can you actually buy sleeves like that?
I'm sure someone will make them on Etsy, Christina. You know, if you're uncomfortable with that, then like...
Although to be fair, there's this picture of Chandra and Liliana together.
Liliana going at it, yeah.
It was nice, but...
Yeah, it was nice.
What?
You told me you didn't watch porn!
Oh, yeah, Christina. Whoa.
Well, that's not watching porn, that's...
That's engaging!
That's art.
Oh! Start telling me about how America's so repressed.
That's not watching porn, that's masturbating to porn, Brent.
But yeah, no, I think it's like it's a lot of lack of sympathy. Like, someone's not comfortable with your fucking like butthole sleeves, and instead of you being a fucking decent human being and just going, okay, let me switch out sleeves. Most Magic players carry about a bunch of sleeves. I know it sucks, but maybe if you're going to a fucking GP, maybe leave the fucking butthole sleeves at home.
And that's the sort of thing that, like, what people are saying, because there's a lot of change happening right now. There's a lot of people being more aware of, you know, noticing, like, hey, maybe you should... There are a lot more women here, a lot more people of color, not more people of different sexualities over here, and we also need to embrace them. And I feel like a lot of people just feel... they feel very insecure. They're thinking, oh, if I say this or I think this, suddenly I'm a bad person. Suddenly I'm the worst person around, so I need to retaliate and say, like, they're the ones that are wrong, not me. And it's a very, it's a closed-minded way of seeing the world. And
basically, nobody really wants to admit that they may have messed up or are wrong.
And that's why the word SJW is around. It's like, if I make the other person look like they're the extreme, then suddenly I'm fine, because I'm the normal one. It's like, this is my anime, and I'm the protagonist.
You're the one with pink hair.
I don't think that... I don't think that it's always just a wrong or right. I think it's just like... You can have those sleeves if you want, but it's like... Why do you feel like you need to shove them into other people's faces at a tournament? Like... If someone's just like, yo, I'd prefer if you didn't play with that. I think the big thing is class. And it's just like, it's kind of like...
Well, I think especially
when I'm sitting down, I want to play a game with an opponent, and I want to treat him respectfully, and I want him to treat me respectfully. And when we sit down, we brush off our playmats, and his playmat is just a fucking chick getting railed, and my playmat is like the two Eldrazi Titans just walking around. And I'm just like, well, clearly there is a fucking giant difference between mine and yours. I want to imagine I'm the kid on a motorcycle playing children's card games. And you're taking me from that. I think the easiest way to describe it is, like, there's always a place for sex. There's always a place for pornography. But it's not everywhere. And that's the issue some people seem to have, is that it's not everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's some places.
I mean, look at freaking Europe. It's not...
Well, I mean, I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, if you want, like, there are totally, like, there are message boards, there are Facebook groups, there are conventions, there are all these things you can do that are, like, sex positive. There are a bunch of, like, podcasts you can write into, not this one, because our sex advice will be terrible. I mean, one of our hosts doesn't even admit that she watches porno. But, like...
Put it in the butt.
I view it.
With a cigar and a glass of wine.
Because it's just paintings. or drawings.
Dude, she's just. I just.
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying. I'm just saying. It's not. It's you're not really watching it if it's not a video.
Oh my god, I can't deal with her right now, Eli. So we're just gonna keep going.
We opened our hearts to you, and you're like, no.
So there's a place for it, but the issue is there isn't always a place for it, and I think part of growing up is realizing when there is a place and when there isn't a place for it. And yeah, that's the big fucking deal right now, is that like some people just don't get it. Like, I don't want to fucking see your butthole sleeves while I'm trying to sit down and respect you, and both of us have a respectful game against each other.
And going back to
A
Tokyo
respectful
Mirage,
match.
it's like, it's once again, it's a rated T game, and what's appropriate for teenagers here, it's not the same in Japan. And you know, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people, when they talk about sexualized designs with Japanese games, like the defense is, oh, that's part of their culture. But when suddenly, oh yeah, okay, we're going to adapt it for our culture now, suddenly that's censorship.
I mean, no. Here's the thing. I get the concept here. The issue I just find with it is that it's like that I don't mind as much as the butthole sleeves. And if you want to bitch about minor differences, that's fine. And I get that with like Seren Kagura, because that's clearly a game that's exploitative, and like there's no supposedly redeeming part about it. It's
You
just,
take that back! I mean, of course
Yeah,
not.
it's not like it's like, oh no, like we have to fucking make it different so that, like, okay, here's the reason why Tokyo Dream Sessions, or whatever the fuck it's called, was changed, was because they wanted to appeal to as many people in our audience as possible. Whereas in the Japanese audience, it would appeal because of different reasons. And so they're like, okay, we're going to make some minor changes, but it doesn't hamper what the game is trying to say. If you honestly think the fact that that chick's bra strap isn't showing affects how the game's message and story plays out, then there might be other issues with this. Also, why does a game need a character's bra strap to be showing to send a message?
Because you have to make sure that she's wearing a bra, Bret.
Yeah.
See,
You
the
have
bar
to
represents
know.
the American dream. It needs support, I don't know.
That way you can imagine if she's wearing a lacy bra. Or what color is the bra? Is it like a normal white bra?
All
it a
these bra
black one?
questions, yet most of us don't even know how to take off a bra.
Speak for yourself. I use scissors.
Oh, you don't want to use scissors on a bra.
Oh, now you tell me.
That ruined them.
Yeah. Then they'd have to spend more money on getting a bra.
Okay, then. Please tell me more information about bras. If you have any information about bras you want to share to
Tell
the
me more about
podcast,
these bras.
how do you spell them?
They're expensive.
Oh, damn.
All right, and with that, us spinning
Christina,
our
do you have
wheels
something else you want to add?
for 35 seconds and getting SJW written in the comment sections.
Well, if we wanna further like whatever, we can talk about how much Kingdom Hearts sucks.
No, I'm good. I'm good. That's a fucking 8-hour episode in itself.
Yeah.
All right, so are we done?
I'm so
think so.
disappointed.
All right, then. Hey, Christina, where can we find your work?
Well, everywhere now.
No, but you actually have a new place that you're like putting stuff.
Well, I have my Facebook page. I have my art blog.
YouTube and Tumblr.
I don't have a YouTube.
Spaghetti, ravioli.
I don't have my YouTube. I don't have a YouTube yet.
Get a YouTube.
I can't speed paint. I don't know how to work cameras. or put
Okay,
them.
okay. If you need me to edit, I can edit for you.
Well, it's not even editing. It's just where do I
Oh my
put
god,
the
it's a
camera?
fucking 1,000 degrees in my fucking room. Can you people fucking hurry up the end
No,
of the
let's
show?
just talk more about cameras.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
I have a camera on my phone. When you press the camera app on the phone, it turns into a camera, but it's still a phone.
Oh my god.
Hey, Brett, where can we find you?
You can find me in the eyes of children who dream of the world being a better place.
Wow.
You can find me in hell. See you, bye.